And welcome to Belgrade, the capital of Serbia, for the International Canoe Federation's third Sprint World Cup of the 2017 season. More than 600 athletes from 58 nations are competing on the Ada Sinjala Regatta course. It's a 4-kilometer long lake and the conditions are about ideal today. I'm Matthew Layton and I have a couple of guests, a K specialist, a C specialist. We're going to start off with an absolute flyer from Germany. In fact, one of the fastest men on the planet. It's Max Lemke. Then we're going to go on with Ian Ross from the USA. Max, how are you?
Hi, good morning. 3 and 4 to the boat control. 2, 3 and 4.
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, we just have a couple of challenges with the actual button here. So you can see on your screen, it is lovely weather out there, not much of a breeze. How do you say the conditions are?
I think the conditions today are perfect. There's not much wind from the back or from the side. And I'm looking forward to the finals now.
Well, we're going to be looking at 8 finals live. We're going to put in 3 award ceremonies. And that's going to be starting off with the K1 women, 1,000 meters. And then we're going to be moving on through the different events. K1 men. That's better. And here you see on the actual, in front of you, the full screen of the 8 events we're going to be looking for. Last week we saw some staggeringly fast times. Times so far this weekend?
I think the times are not as fast as in Szeged so far, but Belgrade is known that it can be quite fast as well. I think Max had a world record at the European Championships here back in the day. So,
2011, yeah. So here we are, we have a little water jet, one of the features. We're about 5 kilometers from the center of Belgrade. This is the third of the series. We started off in Montemor Velo in Portugal. Last weekend moved on to Szeged in Hungary, and about a 5-hour drive. Here you are in Serbia. This is looking down the course. First of all, just introducing the athletes that are going to be taking part in the first televised race today, and it's the K1 1,000 meters. Your compatriot, Melanie Gerbhardt, she looked impressive. Have you looked down the running of it? We have 2 Australian athletes, Jay Bridgen-Jones, Kat MacArthur. The rest are European athletes. The K1 1000, not an Olympic event, but a real good test. Anyone stands out?
I think the Australians are both really fit on 1,000 meters. They have lots of stamina. Because I know Kat from training in Adelaide, and she's really focused, and I think she's really good on 1,000 meters.
Well, you see them lining up. They'll be pulled in closely. Ivanchenko from Kazakhstan. We've just missed Bancheskuria from Belarus, 24-year-old. Belarus have a team here today. There's Jay Bridgen-Jones. Hasn't raced this event internationally since 2009. Then she suddenly realized that 200 was going to be in the Olympic program and changed her. Vera Sobatova, medalist, 7th in the K4 500 in London and the K2 500 in London. Melanie Gerbhardt, you'll be interesting to follow her through the race. There's Kat MacArthur from Australia. She's really come into her own this season, and they are off. All boats are off. We're looking for a time of between 3:55 and 4 minutes, and it looks like Kat MacArthur in the green tip boat is the first to show. Karin Johansson, 32 years old now, was in the Rio both B finals, and so she's had some good international experience. Let's see how they come up the track. So K1000 is tactics, stamina, and a bit of strength as well.
Yes, I think everyone is trying to find their rhythm now for the 1,000 meters.
Margot Wiswalter from France. France have got a good team out, a young team out this weekend, switching around with the men's quite a lot. Jay Bridgen-Jones in your picture, fully qualified medic now, and just missed out on the Olympics, but really looking to have a lot of fun, I think, this year. As you saw, the first split, 55 seconds. And Melanie Gerbhardt keeping up there. Well, you picture Alachenko from Kazakhstan. So they're settling into their rhythms now.
Yeah. I think everyone is trying not to lose too much power at the first 500 meters.
Jay Bridgen-Jones looks like she's rating a little bit faster than the others.
Yes, her boat is running really well. I think she...
We saw, if you just tuned in, the B final of the K1 500 probably about an hour ago now, was won by Ali Bull. Last weekend it was Alice Burnett, her K2 partner, who won it. And this weekend she's made it to the A final, her first A final. So we'll be seeing that in about half an hour's time as they come through the halfway mark in 1:54.
Yeah, that's a good time for one, definitely.
Well, the field is spreading out quite nicely now. So it looks like we saw yesterday the fastest in the heats was Melanie Gebhardt, and she came through in 3:57. So it looks like we're on target for a good time. As you can see in the background, there's so many. I think there's some. They said they could expect up to 300,000 people will be on the lakeside. Not all watching the canoeing. It's a really famous weekend spot. We're looking at 29 degrees this weekend, so it's going to be absolutely packed out. But Jay Bridgen-Jones from Sydney is looking to really put it together.
Yeah, she looks like she has a really good rhythm at the moment. Oh, Melanie seems to be closing up, and I think she's even in front now.
She's got good caliber, clearly known as the 2016. She was under 23 still. They won the K4 500, and last weekend she came third in this event. Just tell us something about her.
Yes, she's from Leipzig, and she's trying to get her spots in the team now, and I think she's doing really well this year. So I think she can do very good the last 250 meters now.
Well, this is where it's starting to hurt. 200 meters to go, or less than 200 meters to go. The spectators are in a very fine place, about 20 meters to our right, so you'll be able to hear some crying. But coming into the last 100 meters, Melanie Gebhardt, can she hold on? Jay Bridgen-Jones went out quickly, and in lane number 7, it's Karin Johansson also finishing quickly. 40 meters to go, and it looks like Melanie Gebhardt just has to hold on, grit her teeth. Jay Bridgen-Jones looks like she's going to take second for Australia, and a fast finishing Karin Johansson takes the bronze for Sweden. Kat MacArthur comes in 4th, and in lane number 4, it is Vera Sobatova who takes the 4th place. 5th place, rather. So a good start for you Germans. I'll give you some confidence, Max.
It was a really good finish of Melanie, really.
5, 3, 7.
So they know they've been in for a bit of a workout this morning.
5, 3, 7, and 6.
So if you've just tuned in from wherever you are in the world, welcome to Serbia. 29 degrees, clouds are being burning off. There's pretty much, you can see from the water fountain in the background, there's very much hardly a breeze. Water conditions good. There were some challenges on Thursday with some weeds in the lake, but they've been cleared up. A lot of energy has been put into clearing up the weeds. Hopefully that'll be okay. And we're looking to cover you 8 races. First has been gone. Max Lemke is going to help me with the K1s. Ian Ross, who's sitting in the sidelines, is going to help us with the C events. So we should give you lots of insight into how things are working. And if you want to tweet anything, it's at Planet Canoe. Here we go. So at the end, she won convincingly, didn't she? She really took it over.
Yeah, it was quite clear.
And so confirmation of the results in 3:56. So it's comparable what she did a couple of days ago. Melanie Gebhardt takes the gold for Germany. Jay Bridgen-Jones takes the silver for Australia, and Karin Johansson takes the bronze for Sweden. So moving rapidly on. This is a cracking field. It's the men's K 1,000 meters. And Marcus Waltz, Olympic champion. Dostal, Olympic vice champion. Tom Leibischer, world champion, fastest man on the planet. Roy Rodriguez from Spain. He's been really coming up and looking good in the last couple of weeks. There you see Marcus Waltz just doing his hair to make sure he looks good for the cameras. He struggled a bit last week, just making it into the final. Dostal, difficult conditions here, him last week with big waves, but he won the 500 meters. Rodriguez, he trains by himself. No one knows how his form is. Doesn't go in the crew boat, but looks quite awesome.
Yeah, he looked really strong last weekend in Zagreb.
There's Rennie Holton Poulsen, who has been arguably one of the top paddlers for the last 2 or 3 years now. Ali Urania clearly wasn't in the games, and Belarus have a good, strong team here. It's going to be looked good in the semi-finals. Going to have a look at him. Roman Nanoshkin, bronze medalist in Rio, not going in the 500 meters. And then we have Stambo Tomesevic in lane number 9 from Serbia. So they're all off. It looks like Stabo from Poland in lane number 8 has got a fast start. Although with the cameras, unfortunately, because of the way the system is, we can't have a car following on the side, but we can certainly get some good perspective. And Marko Tomasevic is the favorite of the local directors, obviously a fine K2 paddler, is in your screen. It looks like Leibischer, who's you'll be racing with him later in the weekend. It looks like he has a good start as well.
Yeah, he came from the 500, so he can have good starts.
Top of your picture, lane number 7. It looks like it's a case of Tom Leibischer and Roy Rodriguez from Spain leading them out. There's Leibischer. He's last weekend in the K4 500. You had the fastest ever time, 1:18.
Yes, we had a really good race, but I think Tom can do very good in the 1,000 meters as well.
But I believe he won the German trials ahead of Amwell Max Hoff. Dostal is an absolute giant, and he'll be aiming for the Rachichi World Championships in front of his home crowd. And at the top of your course, or top of your picture rather, is Marcus Waltz, who always says his tactic now is to get out lightning quick, sit down a bit, and then the last 200 meters really push forward. But I think this year for him, he said it's not that important. He has the gold medal.
Yes, I think he will definitely go for the last 250 again. Looks like he's having a quite low stroke right now and resting a little bit.
But it's Roy Rodriguez who's pushing ahead with Roman Anoshkin. His Russian trials are next week, and so he's saving his energy and not going in any other boats this weekend. But I was talking to him yesterday, and he's looking good and feeling strong. 1:39 at 500 meters.
That's a really quick time for 1,000 meters.
That's very quick.
Yes, that's very quick.
Very competitive field. So we have all the medalists from the Olympics. Germans, you're trying different combinations. Max Hoff not going in the K1 1000 this season, I believe.
Yes, I think Tom will go for the 1000 K1.
And we saw Max Remschmidt, who's the 4th member of your K4 Flyers. He was in the K1 earlier, but it's still a very fast pace. You need to follow the boys going across. It's quite difficult to have a perspective.
I think Roman Anoshkin is in the front at the moment. He's taking the lead.
Still close there with Rodriguez. And here we go. Anoshkin, he was looking lean and mean.
Yeah, Ale Urania already had a very strong last 250 in the semi-final. I think he's taking off now.
Well, we have a race on our hands with about 150 meters to go.
Yeah, I think it's really close between Ale Urania and Roman Anoshkin. I think Ale Urania is just in front.
Well, coming down with less than 100 meters to go, it's certainly Ali Urania from Belarus who's leading from fast finishing Rennie Holton Poulsen. But Ali Urania, well done. He looked good in the semi-finals for Belarus. He's got clear water now, pulls ahead of the field. Rennie Holton Poulsen is 2nd, and it looks like Roy Rodriguez takes the 3rd ahead of Anoshkin from Russia.
That was a really good finish.
With the Olympic champion not firing all cylinders yet, just crossing the line now. But he is the Olympic champion. Be interesting to see the time. Rennie Holton Poulsen, the reigning world champion. and Roy Rodriguez from Spain, there or thereabouts. But it was all about, from the 750 mark, Ali Urania, he took the race on.
Yeah, he looked really smooth through the first 750 meters, so I think he saved some energy for the last 250. I see he's just 4th or 5th at the 500 meter mark. And he has really long arms, so really strong strokes too.
And in the end, he won in a convincing fashion. Be interesting to see the time.
Yeah, what was the time? I think that's...
The 3:09, perhaps we don't believe.
Yeah, that would be a bit too quick.
World record is Max Hot. You said, was it set here in 3:22?
I think it was set then, but I think he had a new world record at the European Games in Baku, 3:22, I believe.
And last weekend was 3:23, so that's a good times. 3:24, great time.
That's really fast.
Ali Urania gold, Rennie Paulsen silver, Roy Rodriguez bronze.
Yeah, I think the conditions in Szeged were faster than now, so it was a really strong race of him.
Excellent there. We're just going to have a quick switch. We're going from kayaks to canoes. Thanks, Max. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. And now it is the turn of the rather large paddler from the United States of America. Ian Ross, how are you?
Good. How is everyone else?
It's going well so far. Here we go. First into the lineup for the C1 1,000 meters, and it's an international field. The star, I suppose, this season is Martin Fuchser. He's taken gold at the last 2 events. Sebastian Brendel has the medals. However, he's said he had 4 months off after the games, and so he's really coming back into his season at the moment. And going through the others, Uzbekistan, we've just seen Vincent Farkas from Slovakia. Stokolov was a finalist in Rio again, gives it his all every time. I remember seeing him in Milan 2015 when he was panting for 5 minutes after he crossed the finishing line. Martin Fuchser doubled up in Montemor, 200 and 1,000, and convincingly won the 1,000 last weekend. Glazunov, he was 6th last weekend, but it looked good so far. 2 Polish athletes in here. Thomas Katso, B finalist, won the B final in Rio Olympic Games and came first in Montemor in the earlier this season. Sebastian Brendel is the main man. Hasn't quite hit his stride this season yet. Maxim Piatru, again Belarus, competing in the first World Cup this season. Be interesting to see how he goes forward. And finally, Oleg Tarnowski, he came 2nd in Montemor eventually. So, Ian, I've gone through the actual, gone through the lineup. What do we need to see? What do we need to look out for? And who do you think is going to go out fast?
I think Martin Fuchser will probably go up pretty fast. The Polish guys will probably just have a very high pace in the middle of the race, and you have to wait for Sebastian in the finish. He's the man when it comes to the last 250.
If he wants to. He was telling us that his strength there, his stamina's not that year, but this year is a really easy year. Missed out in the C2 1000 last weekend, so doesn't help him for the Europeans, but maybe it helps him to concentrate on this actual event. Last weekend in Szeged, he actually didn't do the 1000, so it's back to see how we are. The conditions, they look fair, are they fair?
Yeah, I think they're very fair. It's always a factor with canoe if the wind's coming from the left or the right, but it looks like just a backwind, so should be fast times.
We've seen a very fast time in the last event. So Fuchser, he's been on fire this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, his technique is probably the best in the world, and he's got looks like he's gotten a lot stronger on top of it. So he's going to be a big problem this year for everyone, I think. 1,000
meters. There's Tarnowski. Likes doing the C2 as well. The older brother of Sergei. So what are we seeing?
It looks like Fuchs is taking out pretty hard. He's probably going to try and set the tone for the whole race right now.
It's interesting that he's been doubling up this season.
Yeah, he's a very talented paddler. To be able to do 200 and 1,000 with the different stroke rates and intensities is very, very hard. He's doing a great job with that.
And also, we've seen him in the C2 500 with his younger brother, Peter. So Martin Fuchs is 24. And Peter is 19. It looks at the middle of your picture with the lefty Sebastian Brendel is still in touch He's 2 boat lengths down.
Yeah, and Tomas Kazor is an amazing paddler also. He's very connected with his hip when he paddles. It's a very strong stroke. But it looks like Martin Fuchs is still doing his thing. Staying very, very high in the boat, using his legs very well.
Top of your picture, Uzbekistan, Nurislam Ugly coming through. Vadim Menkov, the legend from Uzbekistan, just missed out on the A final, which was a shame because it's great to see him here. But no doubt about who's taking it away. It's Martin Fuchs.
Yeah, his tailwind will probably help him technically. His technique's very geared towards having a tailwind, so he should be very hard to keep up with in this race. But the Polish guys are staying right there with their nice hip rotation technique.
1:49, good time.
That's pretty fast, yeah.
Brendel 4 seconds off the pace, but we see the battle for supremacy in Poland. Kaczor had the Olympic spot. Under 23 Worlds 2016, Glasnost was second, so there's certainly a pedigree here, but it looks at the moment like Martin Fuchs, as he has done for the last 2 weekends, the Montemor where he won, Szeged where he won, he's really determined to show the others that he's the top dog.
Yes, his boat is running extremely smooth. He's just, you know, maximum effort, but he's also very efficient, so he's going to be hard to deal with. But Poland's staying right there. They're right in his back pocket.
So how's his stroke rate? I don't know if you know stats, but how does it differ between the 200 meters and this? Is it difficult to just keep it going faster?
He's amazing because he pretty much paddles the same way in the 1,000 and the 200. He just goes faster, which is pretty incredible. It's just being able to have that gear with that long of a stroke still is very, very impressive.
And we saw last weekend the Brazilians with Zé Cruz dos Santos. Hello, if you're listening. They gave us a great display. They're just the only World Cup they actually came for. But moving into the last 180 meters, Brendel is starting to make a move.
Brendel here is coming down for the finish. Looks like he's going to be in second or third. But Fuchs is just pulling away from the field still.
Well, good cheering on from the crowd, mainly made up of athletes and coaches, but coming into the last 100 meters, Martin Fuchs has still a big lead. I wonder if he's aware of Sebastian Brendel, who has a higher stroke rate coming into the last 40 meters. It's a boat length. It's now coming down a little bit, but Brendel's putting on a really, really good finish. Fuchs takes the gold. Brendel only half a length back takes the silver. And in lane number 6, it's Thomas Kaczor who takes the bronze, just ahead of his compatriot. Good race?
Yeah, it's a very good race. Fuchs was extremely impressive to beat that strong of a field, with checking it down at the end is very, very impressive.
We'll have to talk to Sebastian Brendel, but it looks like he's in touch, isn't he? He's not killing himself, but he's certainly ticking over.
To be that close behind an amazing paddler like Fuchs after not training for 4 months is pretty incredible. That was a great finish, as always, from him.
Just if you're not familiar, he's the Olympic champion from London and Rio in this discipline, and also the Olympic champion from Rio in the C2 1000. So that's really, you deserve to have a year off, I guess.
Yeah, he's probably earned some time. The Polish guys paddled very well too. That was a great race by both of them.
What we're going to do is switch you over again, and we're going to welcome you back in about 10 minutes' time. Welcome back, Max Lemke. It's not your discipline, but I guess it's still impressive to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to have a first award ceremony today. There's going to be 3 award ceremonies. And we're going to be watching the K1 Women, which took place about 20 minutes ago. Here, as you see, the boat control. It's quite spread out. So there's the finish tower, which is on the line, clearly. About 50, 60 meters to the left of that is the boat control, and about 100 meters away, 150 meters away to the right, in front of the grandstand, is the actual medal ceremonies. So it's quite a spread out affair. Here we go. Martin Fuchs at 3:46 takes the gold. Sebastian Brendel 1.2 seconds back takes the silver, and Thomas Kaczor for Poland takes the bronze, just ahead of his compatriot. So 1:46, a very fast time. And you can see as they come off the boat control, they're three great athletes enjoying each other's company after a pretty tough race. So the early conclusions is that it's not quite as big a wind as Szeged, but we're having some very, very fast times.
Yes. I think the wind was a little bit too strong in Szeged, so it was a bit wavy. And here we have still flat water and just the wind blowing from the back, so can be very fast times here too today.
A priority is obviously to do your best at the World Cups, but many of the athletes, the priority of this season, there you see in front of you the pontoon where the medals are going to be awarded in a couple of minutes' time. The priority season is going to be in August. It's going to be the Rachichi World. I guess that's the priority for you as well, plus the Europeans that are coming up fairly soon. What's your actual priorities this season?
The World Championships, so in Rachichi.
And what will you personally be going in the K4 500, hopefully, if it works out?
Yeah, I think we go for the K4 500 and maybe the K2 200 as well. So we have to look for that first.
And if you go in the K2 200, who would you go with?
With Ronnie Rao.
Ronnie, obviously, the fourth athlete that we saw in the K4. Athletes lining up now for the ceremony just in front of us. There you can see the camera following Sebastian Brendel. Just need to organize themselves because they're going to be the award ceremony in about 3/4 an hour's time, so they've certainly got time to cool down a bit. Sebastian Brendel, clearly there was a bit of a mix-up with the sun, I guess, and he was disqualified in the first World Cup of the season for being just 20 grams underweight, which is certainly no advantage. Yes, he was the second fastest time. It just shows that there's whether you're 2 kilograms under or 20 grams under, it doesn't really matter.
Yes, the 20 grams definitely doesn't matter. But you have to you have to get a point where you have to have 14 kilos in canoe, or 16?
Yes, that's right.
14, yeah. And well, there has to be a rule for that, and even 20 grams.
Yeah, accepted. So clearly they'll be announcing in English and Serb. I think we have to dub over it because I'm not sure you can pick it up on the microphones.
I think it's Melanie's first World Cup win, so she's going to be really happy about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the medalists for the K1 1,000 meters for women event.
So they're just announcing, as you can see, walking in front of us, the 3 medalists, plus the team leader for Germany. It's always the team leader of the winning nation. So you have the traditional music.
It's quite a long walk.
It is a long walk, isn't it? But they do get to walk in front of their family and friends, which is good news.
Yes.
So they finally arrived. We saw a time of 3 minutes 56. Melanie Gerhardt, she took over with about 300 meters to go and won by a length.
The medals will be presented by Mirko Nišović, the president, Predrag Peruničić, State Secretary of the Ministry of Sport, accompanied by German team leader.
Medalje će uručiti Predrag Peruničić, državni sekretar Ministarstva omladine i sporta.
So on the left you picture it's Peruničić, the Secretary of Ministry of Youth and Sport, and the team leader Dr. Jens from Germany. Karin Johansson from Sweden takes a bronze medal.
Silver medal, Joe Bridgen-Jones from Australia.
Great result for Joe. Joe Bridgen-Jones takes the silver medal. So hasn't raced this internationally since 2009, comes up and medals straight away. Spoke to her this morning, she said she was feeling good.
Thank you.
And finally, the gold medalist, Melanie Gebhardt from Germany.
Well done, Melanie Gebhardt from Germany takes the gold medal in the K1 1,000 meters from Belgrade in Serbia.
Thank you.
Can we have a big round of applause for the medalists?
Says the ICF music comes in. So that's the first event. We're moving on with the schedule. And it's going to be the K1 women final next up. That's more your territory.
Yes.
So that's a mixture of speed, power, and you certainly can't go flat out, but it's a different mental game to 1,000, isn't it?
Yes, I think 500 is quite hard to race. Like, you have to have a very good start, but you still have to look that you save some energy for the last 150, 200 meters. So it's lots of tactics going on the 500 meters as well. Yeah, the 200 are actually the easiest to race. You just go out and give everything from the start.
And hope you can carry on as long as you can.
Yeah.
But is that for you? Was that your favorite event as a junior?
Yes, I like racing the 200 because they just don't hurt as much as the 1,000 meters.
And some of you guys are pretty strong. We were talking to Marko Novakovic, did a portrait on him, obviously a top Serbian paddler. And I said, what sort of training you do? And he said, well, I can bench press over 200 kilograms.
Yeah, I believe that if I see him paddling. He has really big arms, so I think he's the strongest paddler around. So.
And one of the nicest, it's a double combination. They have to just go flat out for, what, 34, 35 seconds?
Yeah. And the times are faster from year to year in the 200, so you already, I think back in the day you were able to win with the 37, and now you have to do 34s, 35s to make the A final. So
progress, I guess, is nutrition, training, and the like.
Yes, I think we will see the same improvements in the K4 500 because it's a new Olympic event now.
So the world record, sorry, not the world record, but the world's fastest time came down by nearly a second last weekend. 118.
Yeah, 118.6.
Do you have a sort of secret goal? Do you think you can get below 118?
Yeah, I think.
In training, what's the best you've done?
Well, it was. I think we only raced K4 500 once in training so far. So, but I think the times are going to be faster this year at World Championships or European Championships if we have good conditions. Because the conditions on Zagreb weren't perfect, I believe.
We're just waiting for the graphics to show you the lineup. Normally it's going to be the K1 500 meter race. We're just seeing Melanie being interviewed for later. How good's her English?
I don't know, but
well, we'll see. If you just tuned in, Max Lemke, part of the German Flying 4 team, is helping me out, and also Ian Ross for the canoeists. We've just seen the medal ceremony for the K1 1000. Need to keep to the timetable because we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more races to go today. And then tomorrow, it's an absolutely packed schedule. The actual schedule starts half an hour later, and there are 12 races to go through with several ceremonies. So it's going to be a lot of fun there. What about your program after this weekend? What are you going to be doing?
We're gonna have 3 weeks of home training, and then we have our first training camp in Kimbaum for 2 weeks. And then we are home again, and then we have some build-up for the European Championships. But yeah.
So fairly full out summer.
Yes. I actually have to go back to school and have some of my final exams next week. So
what subject are you taking?
Pardon?
What subject?
I only have an oral exam left in history, so only one more, and I'm finished.
K1 500 meter A final, and there are some interesting combinations going on here. Volha Kudenska from Belarus, she's looked extremely strong so far. She's going in lane number 5. It's the first time we've seen her out this season. Linnea Stencils, who last week she was quoted as she went in the K1 200, K1 500, as being really tired. So she's doing 3 events this weekend. As you can see, the lineup there. Michelle Russell, non-European, absolute flyer off the blocks we're expecting for Canada. Alice Burnett is her first international K1 500 final. We have the older of the Peters. It's Herman Peters who's looking to do something special. Lise Brox, she was really surprised, or her coaching team were really surprised that she actually made this made this final. Just qualified in engineering. She was tired last weekend after the relay experiment. There's Alice Burnett, one of the ABs. I say it's her first international final. She cut her leg, which apparently is not a big problem, but there's a nice little plaster on her right leg. Be interesting to see how she copes at this level. Then it's the second Belgium. So far, she's leading in the internal trials. They had nationals and obviously last weekend. So this is Arthur Peters' older sister. She was 7th in Szeged. Linnea Stencils, K1 200, K1 500, and K2 500 this weekend. Clearly, she excelled making the final in London. In Rio, rather, Kudenska, who we've been talking about, she's K4 London bronze medalist. Spela Ponomarenko-Janic, many medals in 200, also in Rio. She just came 4th in the 200. Lazcano in from Spain. Manon Hostens, familiar in the K4 from France. And finally, we're going to see Michelle Russell. So what can we expect?
I think Linnea Stencils, she used to race to Hungwitz. I'm sure she's going to have a good start from that. And I think they are all trying to get away quite quick.
Well, last week, in the first 2 weeks, we saw New Zealand. Hello, if you're watching, they took out the first one in Montemor. Then Ashgate from Russia just took out the second one. Here they go away anyway. Lazcano in your picture from Spain. So it looks like it's Alice Burnett in the green tip boat, who's rating faster than the others and really taking them out.
Yes, she has a really high stroke rate at the moment and a good leg drive, long arms.
You can also see it's Linnea Stencils in lane number 4 in your picture now.
Yeah, she has a good body rotation.
Kudenska looking dangerous, 25 years old from Belarus. She's been top of the form for the last 7 or 8 years now. It's Alice Burnett who is the first through the first split. But looking dangerous is Kudenska from Belarus. We saw Ali Urania a few minutes ago take out the K1 men's 1000 in convincing form.
It looks pretty close, like they're coming in the last 150 meters.
Well, coming up to less than 200 meters to go, and in lane number 5 it is Kudenska, but in lane number 2 it is Alice Burnett also holding in there. Spela Ponomarenko-Janic is making a fast finish, but with about 60 meters to go, it's very much a case of Volha Kudenska for Belarus is taking it out, but can Spela Ponomarenko-Janic next to her come back? Well, over the line, Belarus won. Oh, it's desperately close. maybe.
It was really close between lane 3 and lane 8 for the 3rd place.
No doubt about who took the winner by half a boat length. It is Volha Kudenska.
5, 6, 3, and 2.
Well, she looked really impressive in the first rounds.
6, 3, and 2.
And maybe Spella's the only athlete that's competed in all 3 World Cups. We just to compare how she's going. Did you manage to see her time?
Oh, no.
We'll have to look in a minute. Let's see who's going to take the 3rd place. No doubt about 1st and 2nd. Desperately close. There's 4 athletes in the line.
Looks like lane 3. Oh.
Could be, if you look at there, it looks like Amanda Peters just outed Alice Burnett. But we'll see in a couple of minutes anyway. The results haven't come through yet. This is the K1 500 meters. So Kudenska, she took it on from the last 250 meters and really, would you say she controlled the race?
Yes, I think she saved some energy for the last 200 meters and then she powered off. And she had really, like, she has really long arms and really strong strokes, so.
Well, here they are. We're still waiting for the results to come through. Yeah, Herman Peters takes the bronze medal. Volha Kudenska takes the gold in 1:49. Spela Ponomarenko-Janic the silver. Herman Peters takes the bronze. So Caitlin Ryan went out in 1:47 in Montemor. Fast times last weekend. Really close finish between Lisa Carrington, who's at 0.08 of a second, and Anishina from Russia. And we're back into familiar territory, Belarus taking a victory with Ponomarenko-Janic on the podium of well. It's very, very competitive here.
Yeah, it's a good performance. 2 gold medals out of 3 finals.
Well,
and it's their first World Cup, I think.
We're going to switch you again. Back to the women and back to the canoes. And it's going to be fascinating, this Katie Vincent, who the last couple of years she's really been coming into it. However, we've seen in there's Jana Jezova, who enters all the events from the Czech Republic, makes all the finals. Just moving down 2 Chinese athletes in a Yanan Ma and Huan Men. Interesting to see how they go.
Yeah, I think Katie Vincent paddles extremely well. This tailwind will probably help her out a lot, but Belarus and Hungary look very strong.
Well, in the fastest in the semi was Alina Nadzorova. It's the first time we've seen her this season. Here she is, so a bit of an unknown quantity this season. Most of the other athletes have been racing against each other. She's the fastest. Who we're going to go and see now? Virag Bala. She had the world's fastest time by 2 seconds last weekend from Hungary. She took 4 golds in Montemor, so very much the rising star in 2:05. Compatriot, who's also full of medals, is Kinsko Takac. These two go in the C2 500 together and are very impressive.
Yeah, they're very powerful paddlers, those 2 Hungarians.
And Alaska Loska, young athlete from Germany, and let's not forget Dorota Borowska. But first away, it is very much a case of Kinsko Takac taking them out.
Yeah, the Hungarians look like they're off to a good start so far, but we'll see what happens in the middle of the race. That'll probably be where everything moves.
So 500 meters, time of reference. Expect them to come home in maybe about 2:10.
I think today they'll probably be a little under that. This should be a fast day.
But we've seen every time that Virag has raced recently, she's broken the world's best time.
Yeah, she's doing all right now.
And then we saw Laurence Vincent Lapointe last weekend, reducing the fastest ever time of the C1 200 to 45, mid-45s.
Yeah, that was her own record she broke too, which is awesome. She's showing that she can improve herself.
Midpoint in the race, it's very much a case of Virag Bala, who has taken control again and coming over in 1 minute. We could have another very fast time. Katie Vincent is keeping in touch as they speak.
Yeah, she's a very powerful paddler. She has a very strong catch. That's going to propel her down the course very well with this tailwind.
But pretty much every time, I know she was very close about a month ago in the individual trials, so swapping first place with Kinske, but he clearly enjoys racing.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a titan battle.
She definitely seems to rise to the occasion on race day. But
Nazdrova from Belarus is very, very close, and in fact slightly ahead with about 150 meters to go. This is maybe a surprise, although she was the fastest in the qualification. In fact, she's really putting on an exceptional performance. So it's Belarus leading from Virag Bala and Katie Vincent. This is really something special from Belarus. It's Elena Nazdrova, and it's a very fast time. She's just, she doesn't want the fast time. Well, she takes an easy victory. It's almost an embarrassingly easy victory. Last 10 meters, she slays up. I hope she's okay.
She uses her hips and her legs a lot more than the Hungarian girl, and that probably held her through a lot better in the finish. But Katie Vincent was in there very strong for the 3rd place.
Whatever her time, you could probably take off at least half a second.
Yeah.
Last 10 minutes, she did a Usain Bolt.
Maybe more, yeah. She smiled for the camera across the finish line.
It really was the last 10 meters. She just like, it's my race.
Yeah, I won.
That's great.
Those 3 girls paddled very, very well for that finish, though.
The level's really coming up, isn't it? It's really, really coming up.
Yeah, so women's canoe is really getting competitive. It's great to see.
Canadians really pushing it forward. We had Laurence for the last 7 years now, and since 2010 she's really looking good. And the Hungarians are putting a bit of power into it. For the Brits, we've seen you in the last couple of World Cups. They're looking really, really solid as well.
Yeah, it looked like the Hungarian girl just lost a little bit right going into the last 200.
There you go. She's pretty much stopped, cruising over the end.
That was really impressive.
So you think obviously the male athletes have been doing this for a long, long time. The women, their times are going all down all the time, aren't they?
Yeah, some of them paddle extremely, extremely well. It's very cool to see. In such a short amount of time, they've learned the sport very well.
Do you ever train with the women?
I've trained around them. Katie Vincent was in Florida while I was training down there this year, working really, really hard.
And the technique's comparable?
Yeah, it's getting there. I mean, it's amazing. Like the Belarusian girl, Alana, like she paddles better than some guys. And they've just started doing the sport. It's really cool to watch.
So let's have a look at the time. 2:05.464. It's going to be really close, if not better than the best ever time. Belarus gold, Hungary silver, Canada bronze. 2:05.464.
Yeah, she would have broken the world record if she had kept going.
Easily.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I hope you forgive us for the crackle when we change over, but we're going to have another quick changeover. Max coming back, and it is the K2 men 500, and there's some real flyers here. French have been mixing it up in the last World Cups. Different teams in every single event. The under-23s from Belarus. Let's see how they come forward. Mushenka, Niskin. 7th in Szeged, Deganov, Alexei. Juve de Cochemont. First in Szeged. And then we have Slovakia, who won their heat. They're just flying through the moment. Lane 6 is Slufen, obviously very well known. Jan Staber. They won the heat in 1:29. That could be quite dangerous. Carrera, Gamonde, they were 4th in Szeged. So remember, Strensky, they were on the bus apparently making sure they had their uniform for the podiums this morning. So there's good positive stuff there. And finally, in lane number 9, it's Jaco Carreras from Argentina.
I think it's a good style of France.
Sébastien Juve has a couple of already World Championships medals going back to the day with Arnaud, who's now retired. Taking it out, it's only 500 meters.
The French guys have a really good rhythm. They really work well together.
So it's lane number 4, Sébastien Juve, Guillaume de Crochemont. Are certainly the early leaders. But right across the board, even the Argentinians in lane number 9 are looking good. They're switching around the teams, and with only 200 meters to go, it's all in a line, everything to play for.
Yeah, it's really close.
The Spanish, the K2 1000, they put forward the world's fastest time last weekend. They're still very much in it. Coming with 100 meters to go, and 5 or 6 boats are in with a shout. Carrera Giamade is maybe leading it, but with France in the middle of the picture with the blue stripes are also in there, it's going to be very much a case of Spain and France. Oh, very close. Maybe Spain just take it.
Yeah, they had a really good finish. I think it's Spain in front.
Well, the directors looking at the French boat look from the naked eye that Spain maybe just have it.
Yeah, now they say winner. K2 500, Spain.
6 and 1 to the boat control.
Second France.
7, 4,
Well, the French had there's Stober panting away.
And third place for Czech Republic.
Ono što nas uskoro očekuje jeste dodana medalja u disciplini K1000 metara za muškarce, a ćemo nastaviti sa finalnim trkama.
Well, it's really close until the last 20 meters, then 30 meters, then we saw the French and the Spanish really pulling slightly ahead, and they had their own internal battle, couldn't see each other.
Oh, now we have the slow motion.
So you say this fast, the Spanish look to have a clear victory.
I was really close between second and third place.
Let's see what they're officially giving. It looked like it's France ahead of the Czech Republic.
Because when we finish, good because you take a new strategy at another.
The final, more weight.
So that's good to hear the actual the comments, how they were neck and neck, and they didn't know who was coming first. It's Sébastien Juve obviously chatting to the Spaniards. We're just about to have another award ceremony. It's going to be for the K1 1000 men.
Cool, thank you. Hi, how are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the finalists for the K1 1000 meter event.
Well, you can see the results. It was 0.2 of a second they gave it eventually. So Spain take the gold, France take the silver, the Czech Republic take the third place, with France second boat really coming in quite closely behind. As you can see them walking through, familiar faces. And Ali Urania, who comes out the top. Only good time of, well, it was 3:24.
The medals will be presented by Božidar Maljković, President of the National Olympic Committee, accompanied by Belarus team leader.
So you maybe pick that up on the left of your picture. We're looking at Božidar Maljković, who's the President of the National Olympic Committee for Serbia, the team leader of Belarus. Roy Rodriguez, making a habit of making the podium now. He takes the bronze medal for Spain.
Enhorabuena.
Gracias.
¿De dónde viene?
De España, como Galicia,
Ah, de Galicia.
del norte de España.
Ah, muy bien.
Thank you.
The silver medalist,
Bonita Galicia, ¿eh?
Rene Poulsen from Denmark.
Rene Holten-Poulsen, good to see him back on the podium. Takes the silver medal for Denmark. He's been at the top of his game for the last many, many years now.
Yeah, since a long time now.
But many famous battles with Adam, Max Hoff.
Thank you.
Fernando Pimenta, who took out the gold in Portugal, not here this weekend.
And finally, the gold medalist, Ali Urania from Belarus.
Ali Urania, again, been on the scene for the last 6-7 years for Urania. Belarus takes the gold medal in the K1 1,000 meters for Serbia. In Serbia.
Never complain about your photos.
Another round of applause for our gold medalists.
Molim vas za još jedan aplauz za osvajače medalja.
Pimenta won in Montemor. Kopaz won in a very fast time, 3:23 last weekend in Szeged. And this time it's Ali Urania in 3:24. So there's really competitive at this level.
Yes, really fast times this year at the World Cups.
So the sun's coming through, ideal racing conditions. It's not like a mill pond, but it's flat, isn't it? And there's no real crosswind.
I seem to know maybe home. This night maybe little bit.
I think Ali Urania was struggling a little bit in the finals over the last year. He always had good semi-finals, but the finals weren't too good. But now he had a really good final as well after the impressive semi-final.
And really controlled the race over it's quite a convincing victory in the end.
Yes.
There he is. So 2 more events to go on the live program today. The next one's going to be the K2 1,000 meters. Last weekend we did see the fastest time ever, so it'd be interesting to see how close we're going to come to that.
Yeah, we have the same boat again on line 7 from Spain.
Amazing, because those two, Kupilosh and Penna, there's about 25-30 centimeters difference in height of the two.
Yes, yeah.
So. Other athletes to look at for Guillemberger, Cyril Carré. They're switching their team about quite a lot. Ricardo Necrosies, Andrew Olnig, they won their semi-final, 3 minutes 11. Brzezinski, Rosolski, they won their semi-final, again the same times.
What happened to them? Do you know why they started on line 10 in the semi-final?
No.
And in the heat they were quite like 1 minute behind the field, and then they started on lane 10 in the semi-final. But they had a really good semi-final.
And then we have Max Hoff, Marcus Grave. It was the slowest semi-final, 3 seconds off the pace, but again, they looked good.
Yes, I hope they can improve their... yeah, I'm struggling a bit with some words in English sometimes, sorry about that.
But both were part of the K4 1000 that took away the gold medal in Rio. Marcus Graves last year was with Max Rentschmidt. Max is now going in the 1000 and clearly the K4 500. So you have a core, don't you, of some really top athletes you can choose from.
Yes, I think they already won the European Championships last year in Moscow in this boat because Max Rentschmidt was sick. So they know they can do very good, but they didn't have a good performance last week in Szeged. But
do you know why?
I don't know. This happens sometimes. They looked a lot better this time in the heats and the semi-finals, so they're looking to improve on their performance. And some big names, Kenny Wallace in the final as well, with his K2 partner Jordan.
Yeah, good combination, Hele Lockie, if you're watching at home. Quite a few of the Australians are taking some time out this year. So Kenny, I believe, it's his 4th Olympic cycle. Jordan Wood has had a few health issues, but struggling through. Interesting to see how these take it out. They came in 3rd place in their semi. And then the French team, Aurélien Gall and Etienne Hubert. Etienne's been switching with quite a few partners. He's been on top of his game for the last 3 or 4 seasons. They're looking very good. Won a World Cup in Szeged, I believe, a couple of years ago. So it's the K2 1000 meters. Seeing some slow-mos of Martin Fuchser. So give us about, if you're not here but you're an athlete, the layout of the village. It's you have lovely little tents.
Yeah, it's short ways. Like it's not too long walk to the boats from our tents, and yeah, everything is quite packed together. And I like it. I like the course. It's really nice that you have something around the course as well, with the little bars down the course and some people watching from there. And
it's a very friendly family. We have the restaurant just behind us. There's going to be, in a month or so, it's the European Junior and Under-23 Championships are taking place here. Coming up for the lineup, we've been talking about the various athletes going to be in it, but you can actually see the lineup here: Germany, Norway, France, Lithuania, Poland, Germany, Spain, Australia, and France. Mentioning Kenny Wallace, Jordan Wood there. There you go, that's closing in on the different athletes. The Volds from Norway, Berger, Kare. Very powerful Lithuanians. That they good team here this weekend, and we're on there. Well, I just have the last the Norwegians waiting to line up. So interesting to see how these two giants of the sport managed to put forward a result today.
Marcus' son is here as well. He will be cheering for him.
Fritz.
Yeah, Fritz.
We're seeing a hotel, and he's a very boisterous little chap.
Yeah.
There's Big Red and Little Red, Kenny and Jordan. Hubert in the back. Well, last week's time was 3:05. Spanish in your picture, Kubilosh and Penner, as they were the fast ones last weekend. And they hadn't really raced much together. It just came to be, and they clicked suddenly.
Yes. And their boat is running really smooth.
dok je bio bronzani u C1 na 500 metra. Milan Janić je
Spain
u kategoriji 1000 metara
looking a little bit good there. Australia have a lot of work to do if they're going to make it a competitive race. They're about 3 lengths back as we speak. But Germany at the moment, I guess Ko and Spenner, they look at the timing anyway. They're out good. And you picture the Lithuanians, 3:11 in their semi-final.
The Norwegian crew, brothers.
Owen and John. Well, coming up the track now, and there's not much in it. Poland up there still.
Still very close together.
Germany in the bottom of your picture, with Spain a little bit ahead. I suppose Spain will go into this with all the confidence.
I think now at the 500 some boats are gonna take off.
With Australia, the only boat a little bit off, 2 or 3 lengths behind the others. Tell me something about the Germans.
Yeah, they have been together now as a new crew after last weekend, and I think they're having a really good performance here. And what they're doing now looks really good as well. A really smooth running boat, and I think they fit really well together.
Well, we've seen most of the victories come through from the middle lanes, which means it's come to form so far.
Looks like Max and Marcus are...
Germany is certainly, in the last 100 meters, have taken control of the race with Spain.
Yes.
And that's dictated with 250 meters, 230 meters to go now. Germany have taken it on.
Max and Marcus both have a really strong finish, so I think they can do it.
Spain won last week. As you mentioned, Germany have had some big victories out there, but it's very much a case of Germany and Spain now going neck to neck with about 120 meters to go. Lithuania still not out of the picture. At the top of your picture, it is Germany, but with 100 meters to go, Spain are pulling away. They now have a meter, meter and a half, 2 meters. No doubt that Spain are going to win, even by almost a boat length from Germany. Very close for 3rd place against Lithuania. But good result again for Spain. They didn't control the race, but 100 meters to go, they looked like it was theirs. So Francesco Kubelosh, Inya Penna continue from where they left off last week.
8 to the boat control. 7, 6, 4, and 8.
Interesting to see the time here. Well, they are the victors. Penna, the giant in the back. Kubelosh more stocky in the front.
Yeah, the guy in the back in K2 is meant to push the guy in the front forward, that he can have that he can hold the stroke rate high through the distance.
And in the end, if you see from 100 meters out, it was neck and neck, and then every stroke they pulled slightly more ahead.
Yes, and even the Australians came back really strong after the start.
But no doubt about the winners this season, winning last weekend and this weekend. It's very much a case of Spain are the top dogs. Max, your closing thoughts? It's been good, fair, fast racing so far.
Yes, I think we had some really interesting races, and yeah,
And what are going to be your tactics tomorrow in the K4 500? Are you going to go out fast and continue, or?
Yeah, I think we are looking to have a little bit better start than in second, and I hope we can do probably a new world best time if you have good conditions tomorrow.
Well, thanks, Max. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Ian, we'll let you step back in again. Well, here are the results. 3:10 Kubelosh, Penna take the gold for Spain, Hoff and Gross take the silver, and Nekosias Olyink take the bronze for Lithuania. Back on with Ian Ross. You've just been having a chat to Sebastian Brendel. What was he saying?
Yeah, he was just talking about us, commenting. He thought it was funny. But I think he's happy with his result. But this C2 race is going to be very, very entertaining. This is a very, very competitive race. The two German crews, they have Kovalov and Jules Otis are both from the same club, and they're racing against each other. The two Russian crews had not up to their standards, probably semifinals, but they're both very fast. And then the Polish crew that won in Szeged is here, so it'll be a very, very competitive, fast race.
Yeah, two from Poland, Kuleta Grybowski and Matthias Slaminski, who had about a 4-year gap from when they cleaned up, there we are, in the under-23s in 2013. They decided to be, or they were put back together again, and it really worked last weekend with another astonishingly fast time.
World record, yeah.
Schreiber Müller.
Yeah. And Jules and Peter Kretschmer are two very dynamic athletes. They're going to be very fast in this race.
And they'll be positive after taking the slot for the Europeans.
Yes, yeah, that was a very competitive race last weekend.
Just missing out Spain. Second Russian team, Petrov Pavlov.
They'll be very connected and powerful also.
And then the brothers, there's three brothers, but so just seeing Yemelinov, Sergei and Tim.
Yeah,
for Kazakhstan, and they are all off. It looks like Spain having a fast start in lane number 7 ahead of the Germans. Germans last week, all their priority, I guess, was to take out second place and beat Brendel and Vondery, which they did to take the German slot. But tell me what we're seeing.
It looks like Spain took off pretty fast, but it looks like everything's kind of falling into place now. Both German boats look like they're up in front.
No Cubans this week.
No, but the German C2 of Jules and Peter Kretschmer have a much lower stroke rate, it looks like, than the rest of the field, which will probably mean good things for them at the end of the race. But Kovala and his partner, Conrad, are looking very smooth as well. But Kaminsky and Slaminski are right up there in front.
They just gelled last weekend.
Yeah. Spain is going very, very hard for the first 250. That'll be interesting to see if they can hold that for the rest of the race.
Well, they've had some really good results this season so far, coming through the 3 World Cups. They've had teams at all World Cups.
Yeah, a lot of racing, but the Polish crews are very, very smooth. I don't know, something about Poland canoeing with C2s is just, it works. All their C2s are always very fast.
Whatever combination they put in. So
yeah.
Moving down the track, this is the C2 1000.
This is the Moldovan crew. They look like they're
Sprinchen and Nuta
working very, very hard with their legs, but it'll be a good finish for them probably. But right now, Kaminsky and Slaminski are pretty much in control right now, it looks like.
But Spain very much in the picture also.
Yeah, they have a very high stroke rate though. We'll see
if they burn out.
Yeah,
the Spanish are always known for being flyers in the beginning of the season. And then,
I don't know. We'll see what happens at the end of the last 250, but they look pretty smooth though. They're using their legs a lot. That'll help them at the end. A lot of hip rotation from the second C2 from Germany right now.
Well, still a good third of the race to go.
Looks like the Russian crew in lane 1 is up in front as well. There's a nice shot of Jules and Peter Kretschmer running a very smooth boat. The Russian crew in lane 1 looks like they're very much in a medal stance right now.
Well, Shamshurin, he was part of the C4 2014 World Championships team in Russia, so, and Pavukin has been around forever as well, so don't discount them if the team gel together. Olsen Kretschmer in 2:38.
That's pretty fast, yeah.
And as you can see, the first 3 boats are all within a second of each other.
Yeah. They're running, those first 3 boats are running very, very smoothly. Coming into the finish now, this is going to be where everything goes off. Kretschmer and Yule just picked up their stroke rates, so it looks like they'll have a lot for their finish. We'll see what happens. Spain's right there, though.
So it's lanes 6 and 7, as you see in your picture. The 2012 Olympic champion is really pulling it out. It's lanes number 6, but also Poland wants it desperately. It looks like with 20 meters to go that Germany are coming through. They're going to take the victory ahead of Poland and Spain in third. Hands in the air.
Wow, that was an amazing finish by both boats. Poland really looked like they were going to catch them, but Jules and Peter were able to hold on. That was incredible.
Aerodynamic hairstyle.
Yeah, it's all about efficiency. They're German.
Well, he's had an up and down run, hasn't he? Because he was 2012 C2 Olympic champion, then 2013 came down a bit, lacked motivation, found a new partner.
He's a very dynamic athlete. If he's in a boat with someone else, it's going to go very well. But yeah, it's just so competitive, the world in C2. And Spain held in there. That was really impressive for them too.
Well, they won the K2 1000 second in the the C2 1000. It's going to have our third ceremony on live TV, and this is the C1 1000 meters. But I think over the next 3 or 4 years, it's going to be a real battle as we lean up to Tokyo.
Yeah.
Fuchs in 2016, before the Olympics, he looked really good.
He looked very strong, yeah. I don't know, maybe you never know when someone has a bad result at the Olympics. It could have been anything. He could have gotten sick, but he looks very strong right now. He'll definitely be the favorite going into the World Championships at the end of the summer in his hometown.
How about Chichi? So you can see them again, delighted with their result.
Yeah, that was a very strong finish by the Kaminski and Leminski and the German C2.
We're just watching Sebastian Brendel watching this this race. I wonder what's going through his mind.
I don't know.
I'll have to ask him.
Dame I gospodo, ceremonija dodele medalja u disciplini C1 za muškarce na 1000 metara uskoro počinje.
So here they go. They have quite a long walk. So that's the pictures of the C2 1000 just coming out of their boat, showing them where to go for boat control.
Yeah, it's amazing. Jules and Peter have only been training together really for about 3 weeks, so they should be very, very fast by the end of the summer.
We've seen that quite often this season. We've had new combinations have really worked well, so it might be freshness mentally, physically, or just a change anyway.
Yeah, I think, you know, after the Olympics, that's kind of what happens. Everyone tries to, it feels like they have some time to try out some new things.
And in America, USA, clearly there's not quite the depth of field.
Not nearly. Yeah, I mean, Germany's the size of Michigan, and they have probably 200 more clubs than we do. But
you're going to be training here, in Ross, you're going to be training in Europe for a bit of the summer with the Germans, you say?
Yeah, in Munich. I'm looking forward to it a lot. It's going to be very, very cool.
Paddle for the Planet Day today. So there's going to be coordinated events going around the planet, and it's to support conservation and raise funds for our waterways. Well worth looking out, paddlefortheplanet.org.
Wow,
here we go.
Awesome. That's awesome, yeah, that's a great cause.
Accompanied by team leader from Czech Republic.
So the ceremony.
The bronze medalist, Tomasz Kaczor from Poland.
Tomasz Kaczor from Poland. Poland getting good representation today on the medals. He takes the bronze medal.
Yeah, he's very connected with his hips. That was a great race by him.
And Brendel, we saw over the last, he was 2 or 3 lengths back at the halfway stage, but really in the last 50 meters, he gave it a bit of a burn and was catching Fuchser, but Fuchser really was the dominant athlete.
Yes. You can never count out Sebastian in the last 250. He's always going to have some speed there, but Fuchser just made the gap too large to make it up.
Sebastian Brendel from Germany takes the silver medal today in the Seat 1000. It's great that he finds the motivation to keep pushing himself further and further and further.
Yeah, he's an extremely mentally strong athlete.
Martin Fuchser, it's going to be a big year for him. 3 gold medals, 3 events so far. It's quite rare that someone cleans up.
Yeah.
And clearly he'll be heading for the Europeans with, one suspects, the Worlds will be in his eye.
He's paddling very well. He deserves all the credit.
But he's, for the last 5 or 6 years, he's been coming up. He's always been predicted to have greatness.
Yes, for sure.
And interesting to see how he develops with brother Peter, who's 19. Don't think he's stopped growing yet. And I guess it's interesting paddling with your brother.
Yeah, it is.
So we've seen 8 races today, some really fast times. Fastest ever in the C1 500 meters for women. Times are coming down all the time. Ali Urania took out the K1 1000. We've just seen Fuchser takes the C1 1000. Kudenska from Belarus. So Belarus have had 2 goals so far. 500 women, 1,000 men. Tomorrow we move on to a absolutely packed schedule. There's going to be 12 races, 2 hours of live, starting at 10:35 Central European time, and it's the 200s and the 500s, and so it's going to be such a cracking schedule. We're going to go and see Max in the second to last race. Thanks, Max, so much for coming in to see you. It'll be interesting to see if you can get near or beat the world's best time. Ian Ross, thank you for coming in. Max Lemke, thank you for coming in. I'm Matt Layton, and we'll be following the racing this afternoon. There's some more semi-finals. You'll be able to watch the Listen Live at Planet Canoe if you have anything to say, any comments about how we can make things even better. Certainly room for improvement. And thank you very much for coming. We'll be back 10:35 tomorrow with a packed schedule, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks, Max.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony of the 500 meters women K1 will begin.
Dame i gospodo, ceremonija dodele medalje u disciplini K1 500 metara za žene uskoro počinje.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the medalists for the K1 Women 500 meters event.
Dame i gospodo, predstavljamo vam osvajače medalja u disciplini K1 500 metara u ženskoj konkurenciji.
The medals will be presented by Mirko Nišović, President of the Canoe Federation of Serbia, accompanied by the team leader of Belarus, Henadži Halicki.
Medalje će uručiti Mirko Nišović, predsjednik Kajakaškog saveza Srbije, uz pomoć tim lidera Belorusije Henadži Halicki.
The bronze medalist, Ermien Peters of Belgium.
Bronzana medalja Ermien Peters, Belgija.
The silver medalist, Špela Janić from Slovenia.
Srebrnu medalju osvojila je Špela Janić iz Slovenije.